Hey guys, I want to give you a quick update about what's going on in Iceland after this surprise eruption that has done a lot of damage already or is quite threatening towards Svartsengi and now for the first time really the Blue Lagoon. And we thought, okay, maybe not more lava is flowing towards Svartsengi because the old lava carpets seemed to have built some barrier, but I think that estimate was wrong. We have just seen what the Icelandic Meteorological Office has released, and I want to start the video with this, and then I want to tell you what they're doing in order to protect critical infrastructure. So let's have a look at this. Let's start with this first. The MET Office is saying lava still flows to the west, and it flows along the defense walls at Svartsengi and the Blue Lagoon, and it's thickening there. So that means it's building layers on top of each other. So it's getting higher. And that's a problem because it can quickly reach the height of the defense walls. And then the lava can flow over the defense wall, and then from the defense wall it goes downhill. It accelerates like a waterfall. This is what happened last time, not the last eruption, the one before, that was breaching the defense walls in Svartsengi. And then they really were fighting this, and they were very lucky that then a day later the eruption ended. And they said that, oh gosh, we're happy that it ended. And they were also trying to cool the lava with water and stuff like this. Read this. They're saying lava flows to the west are putting pressure on the defense walls. So it's flowing along the defense walls still. And they're saying, and the situation is sensitive in terms of the possible impact on infrastructure in and around Svartsengi. So in Svartsengi, that means inside of the defense walls. So I think they're not out of the woods yet because it doesn't seem that the eruption is dying down significantly, because they said the activity of the volcano is quite stable. I mean, good thing is no more earthquakes in the area so far. Again, they said in their headline, lava flows to the west are putting pressure on the defense walls. That fissure that was originally 3 kilometers long is still erupting in 3 defined areas. So not at a length of 3 kilometers continuously anymore, but that's mostly always the case with every eruption. And the most active of these 3 areas is the one in the middle, the vent in the middle. And the activity has remained quite stable, so it hasn't really died down that much. They're saying the eruption is stable, means it keeps going. The land subsidence at Svartsengi, because the magma chamber is emptying out, the land is subsiding now and not rising anymore. And that subsidence was also measured by nearby GPS stations. And they're saying right now, more magma flows to the surface as lava right now than is able to accumulate in the magma chamber. And that's why it's still subsiding. And they have released a picture here of this steady lava flow. You could call it a lava river. And that shows this river that's going along the southern slopes of Stora Skogfell. And from there, it's flowing to the west and is flowing to that lava carpet that is adding pressure to the defense walls of Svartsengi. And also they have released a new lava flow map. So the dark red area, that's the new lava flow. And you see how far west this lava has flowed over the water pipes, over the hot and cold water pipes. Again, these are the red lines with the dots in between. And then you see these blue lakes, that's the Blue Lagoon, that's inside the defense walls. And then it's even flowing further past the Blue Lagoon. So the chances that it's building up higher there, it's still there. And you see inside that reddish area, these 3 lines, these are these 3 craters that are still active. And they have also released this picture here that basically shows these craters. And then they have released this graph that shows the GPS records that they had in Svartsengi since mid-September. So there you see, since September, the land has been rising. And then since this eruption began, it's going down. It's been subsiding, of course, because the magma is flowing out. So they're saying that the land is continuing to sink underneath Svartsengi. That is consistent with the considerable flow that is still happening at the eruption site. And they say that about 10 to 11 million cubic meters of magma flowed from the magma chamber only in the first hours of this eruption already, but that's why they said originally this eruption is smaller. That's about half the volume that had accumulated in the magma chamber since the last eruption. So there should be still something in there. And also see that the development of this land subsidence underneath Svartsengi is comparable to what they have seen at the beginning of the last two eruptions as well. And now we will have to see when is the moment when it starts to rise again. Will that magma chamber fill up again so that there probably will be another eruption? And while all this is happening, the volcano keeps threatening infrastructure with the lava flow. So they're trying to protect the electricity poles and the electricity pylons at Svartsengi, because these are critical power lines. So you see a picture here to like put rocks around it to stop the lava flow from really reaching them and burning them down. So what they're trying to do is to cool the upcoming lava that's coming towards these poles, to cool the lava with water, to divert it from the poles. But the problem that they have right now in this area, it's difficult for them to get the water there. So let's hope that they can cool the lava down, and that this little wall that they have will help, and that the lava will divert a little bit further away from this electricity post. But these guys, I mean, they're standing so close to the lava, holding the water on it. I mean, wow, these guys are amazing. So what they're saying is, of course, they have to pay attention. On the one hand, they have to secure the safety of their people that are trying to protect these electricity poles, but on the other hand, they're also trying to protect the operational safety of their power system. And now they have to find the middle ground, because they're really getting close to that lava flow. I mean, there is this defense wall that they built around it, but you see how close that fire engine actually is. But in light of all of this, they have decreased the alert level a little bit. So they have lowered the alert level. The eruption is constant in these three craters. One of them is the most powerful, but they think they have moved from emergency level to danger level, because now the eruption is out, they know where it is, and they know where the danger zones basically are. But one thing is, the public defense has made a statement in light of that change of danger level, and they say there will be no reduction in the preparedness of response parties and the public protection division of the national police in connection with the eruption. And they have to, as you see in this picture, there's the Blue Lagoon, there's the hotel, there's the defense wall, and then there's the lava carpet. I mean, that is really close, guys. And you know, you see the excavators there, and you see the little darker spots in the defense wall. That's where they were closing the wall basically in the last minute, in my opinion, because you see where the roads are going out. So they have closed this, right? They left the roads open as long as possible to let people in and out. But when they realized the lava is coming, they closed it quickly. And it looks like on the left side that they have already built another road over that defense wall, so that they can get some more access. But you know, this, as you've seen in the map, the purple area, it's really flowing around the Blue Lagoon. So they have to be a little bit creative if they want some new access roads. But I think this picture clearly explains what has been going on and what is still going on. And don't be fooled by the view that you think that lava looks black, it doesn't look fresh, it doesn't look liquid. The problem is we've had a breach of the defense wall in a past eruption in Grindavik, but also in Svartsengi. And what this lava does, it basically builds underground lava rivers that flow underneath this already solidified and a little bit cooled down, not cooled down, it's still hot, but a little bit colder area that is in black now. And then all of a sudden that lava river can flow against the defense wall and then push up there, and then it comes out glowing, and then it goes over the defense wall. So that this is all black right now doesn't mean the Blue Lagoon is out of the woods. And that's what we also read from the statement that the Icelandic Meteorological Office has made. It's sensitive, the situation at the Blue Lagoon, and the lava is pushing against the defense walls. And should it breach the defense walls, you see, there is not much room for error, or to divert it, to cool it, or to build a second row of defense wall very quickly, like they did more in the Svartsengi power plant area. When that wall was breached, there was enough room between that breach and the power plant so that they could easily build a second row of defense walls to divert it, bring equipment in, try to cool that breach that was flowing over the lava, over the defense wall. But here, if this thing breaches the defense wall, it reaches the Blue Lagoon absolutely immediately. Basically, they will have no way to, in my opinion, prevent that from getting at the Blue Lagoon. And that is absolutely crazy, considering how valued that thing is for them, right? It's the moneymaker for Iceland, a big part of the Icelandic GDP. Because the problem right now is most of the lava flows are going west. That's the main area where the lava flows, especially from that most active area in the middle. The other ones are going north and east a little bit, and don't threaten any infrastructure there. But the lava that flows west, that's Svartsengi and the Blue Lagoon, and that is not good. And you know, from that picture, if you see it, it really looks like it has reached quite a height. It doesn't look like that, especially in some areas where it's really dark black right along the defense wall, that there is that much different in height still. And that's what worries me a little bit. So that guy in the excavator, he's probably trying to increase the height of the defense wall there. And speaking of the Blue Lagoon, I mean, we know usually when an eruption had started and lava started to flow, they were pretty quick to reopen the place again. But this time, I mean, obviously, if you see the pictures, this is different. The whole parking lot has been destroyed. Some service building for the bus drivers has been burned down completely by the lava. And also the police chief of Sudorns has said something about this. He does not expect that the Blue Lagoon will open anytime soon. He says, you know, they're trying to be successful to keep tourists away from the eruption. And he says, we're in the middle of an event that's going on. And this time, this event is really flowing around the Blue Lagoon. So this time they can't really say, yeah, it's flowing north, it's flowing south, it's not really flowing towards us, or it's just at Svartsengi power plant. Nope, it's really close. It is really close. So Ulfa Ludvigsson, the police chief, really makes it clear that they're not interested to increase tourist access to this eruption. He says that's not on our agenda, and he makes it clear this is a major natural disaster that is going on, and there's no activity in the Blue Lagoon. There's a lot of damage to the road network and also to the Svartsengi power lines. One went down, one is above the lava, some water pipes are underneath the lava carpet, so they don't know yet what is going to happen, right? And you see, I mean, there are some amazing pictures. I mean, how that lava is creeping along the road, and that sound. I mean, isn't this amazing? These are moving rocks. I just find this fascinating. I mean, and as long as no lives are in danger, I mean, so far the infrastructure damage is there, but not, I mean, yes, the service building for the bus drivers, but that is replaceable, but not the key elements yet. And let's hope this remains that way.
I'm a seismologist at the University of Iceland. And today we are here out in Svartsengi to retrieve a seismic station which is now just 50 or 100 meters from the lava. The sensor has been here for 4 years now, measuring earthquakes that have marked the intrusion of magma that's fed these eruptions. But now things have got a little bit too close for comfort. So.
And you see Ulfa Ludvigsen, the police chief, here in an interview, and how that burning lava tongue is moving towards him. And the road, that is Grindavíkurvegur, that's the main access road that goes from, basically, if you're coming from the capital of Reykjavik or the Keflavik airport and you want to go down to Grindavik or the Blue Lagoon or Svartsengi, that's the road. And I mean, look at this. It's absolutely amazing. And some pictures of this, especially of the tourists that are taking pictures that somehow sneak through, looks like end of day scenario. And they ask them in an interview, well, are you aware that there are toxic gases coming from these lava tongues? And they're like, oh, nope. So they're not even informed. So they really seem to be tourists that are not living on this island. But, you know, if you look at these aerial pictures that RUV has released, it's powerful. This is really powerful. And also that reporter there from RUV, I mean, she's also standing there. I mean, look at that beautiful woman that stands there and this monster behind her. So it's really, forces of nature. And let's talk about the Blue Lagoon again. I mean, you've heard what the police chief said, but the Blue Lagoon was kind of planning to really seriously reopen tomorrow. I mean, that's today. Tomorrow is the 24th when I read that. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, look at this picture. You're sitting in that water, and let's say the defense wall is breached and that liquid lava is running down the defense walls into that water. You're a boiling chicken, a boiling lagoon. I mean, I'm speechless, guys. You know that. I just can't believe it. And then they reported, like, it's hard to say yesterday or today, because it's a different time zone, but basically on the 23rd, the Blue Lagoon said, well, we reconsidered the opening tomorrow while the lava, they didn't say while the lava is still pushing towards the defense wall, and the meteorological office says it's very sensitive. So now they have decided to extend their closure until November 29th. So that is next week sometime, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, something like this. So they say until the opening, various possibilities are being examined in the situation regarding where the parking can be set up. Well, maybe you wait first to see where the lava is flowing or until the lava stops. I'm laughing, guys, because it's mind-blowing. I don't know, am I crazy or what? Leave me a comment about this. So where the parking, only parking's the problem. Not that black stuff that's still moving. I don't know. So Helga Arnardottir, she's the manager of the Blue Lagoon. She says, throughout all these events, we have always closed several days in advance because we always need to be able to see through the sequence of events at all times. Now, that's not true. They've always waited, most of the times waited for the last second until the sirens went off and you could already see the red glowing skies. Then they evacuated the tourists and the overnight guests in the Blue Lagoon. There's some YouTubers that stayed there and made videos and documented that. So they have never really used that days in advance. When the MET Office and the scientists said, well, we could see the eruption in the next few days, they never really evacuated. They always waited, maybe one time, but as far as I remember, most of the times sirens went off, earthquakes formed, and poof, eruption happened, or eruption already started and then they evacuated. So this is a little bit, I'm just telling you what she said in an interview with MBL. So because she said that's exactly what we're doing now, because we have to inform the guests who have booked with us as far in advance as we can do each time. I mean, maybe she's not talking about that they were closing several days in advance of the eruption. Maybe she's talking about they remained closed after the eruption started for several days. Yeah, but they always cut that very, very short. So they were very eager to reopen. I mean, to reopen like the same day when the MET office says it's very sensitive. Interesting, but thankfully they have delayed it. So now that she's saying we're closed until we're open, yep. They're saying the company has to provide some predictability to visitors. Yeah, you know, why don't you just say we're closed until the eruption stops? I think that will be safe, right? No more lava flow, eruption has ended, then you can open up. The lava, there's also the gas pollution. Today it was very bad in Grindavik, so they were really advised not to breathe that air, especially vulnerable people, elderly people. And you know, these gas pollution areas where the wind is blowing, that can change, and then it can blow into the Blue Lagoon very, very quickly, especially since you have the glowing lava right at your doorstep. Basically, the lava is parking at the Blue Lagoon, right? So I'm sorry, guys. If you follow my channel, if you follow me for a while, you know, the Blue Lagoon is always a topic. I disagree with kind of their opening and closure activities when it comes to these earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. So I'm just sometimes shaking my head a little bit. So we will have to see how this unfolds. So through the night, it was also still steady until about 5 a.m. on the 24th. And then they said that the eruption subsided a little bit and that the visible activity in the central crater that was most active so far has decreased a little bit. So we will see. Still 3 craters active. That doesn't mean anything. They can decrease, but can remain active for quite a long time. We have to see. And with that, they have still said the lava flows are threatening Svartsengi. And they're also saying to residents of Sudurns that they need to be prepared for the fact that this eruption will affect the supply of hot water because it's right over the hot water pipes. So they're advising people to use the hot water sparingly and make sure that they keep the heat inside of their homes should something go wrong. So civil defense right now has activated their next step of defense against this moving lava carpet, and that consists of working on raising the dikes where it's most necessary, and also to prepare to use lava cooling. They have new pumps, they have new equipment, and this cooling equipment is now ready to be used should it be necessary. And they're using it for the power poles, right? And what concerns me a little bit is that they're also now starting to protect infrastructure inside the defense walls. So they're working on infrastructure that is inside the dikes in the same way as outside the dikes. So that tells me they're not 100% sure that the dikes will hold. So they're preparing for another, maybe bigger dike breach. And they're saying, we're ready to react if Shizzy's going to hit the fizzy. They're saying if a bad scenario hits us. So they're working together with the police chief in Sudurns, and they have made plans. And they say they want to explain further what the Icelandic Met Office said, right? That the situation is sensitive. So what did they mean with that? So the explanation is that they have been working today and they're still working to raise the defense wall, and their aim is to raise it by a few meters, so substantially. But they're saying that this constant flow that is pushing against this defense wall, that is a delicate situation, and that might cause something that could be a problem, a breach, right? And they're stressing. They say, you need to be reminded that many people right now, and these are these Fraggle Rock, how I call them, these heroes, they work in very difficult and dangerous conditions to protect that infrastructure. And I'm amazed by these people, chapeau. You guys are have my fullest respect. These guys are absolutely awesome. So guys, this was the latest. Let me know, what do you think about all this? Will the Blue Lagoon survive or not? Thanks for watching. I'm back at the farm. I'll release an update tomorrow. Many of you have asked about the horses and about Apollo. So I will give you an update, and until then, stay safe, and I hope I will see you soon. And don't forget, leave a like and subscribe, and check out the videos in the end screen, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.